So if you guys could just say your names first, and then where either your law school or your firm, just so we have it for our record.
Yeah.
Nastasia Stanton, 1L at Capital University Law.
And my name's Annie Dupree, and I am an attorney at Frost Brown Todd.
Great. So if you guys could just tell me a little bit about how your negotiation exercise went that you just finished, and maybe the one thing that you think you learned, or kind of the biggest takeaway from that exercise, or why it was important.
I think it went well. I mean, I got what I needed for my client, and I think you came in under budget.
Yeah, I did. So that was my goal initially, was to not go over certain amounts, and I did get that. But yeah, she was very stern in her position, and but it was very good practice, just for future negotiations, to kind of know what to say, what not to say, and which route to go based on what the client or the opposer says. So that was helpful.
I know you said in the room this was a little bit different than ones you've done at law school. So
it was intense. Yeah, she just never relented. And I just kept saying things, hoping she would, and offering her things that were a little bit more minimal, and that wasn't even enough for her. And I'm like, it didn't even match the script, you know. So for us, it was just straightforward. Whereas this one, you had to think on your toes a lot more. So it was more, I suppose, more professional, more realistic, I'd say.
Yeah, it was fun to go a little bit off script and see, you know, try to ask questions and make proposals to see where the other side's bottom line was, or what other things they could possibly offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is this like exciting for you to go like off your you know, out of your normal sphere?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, this isn't the type of stuff that I usually do, so it was fun to do kind of more of like a transactional negotiation. Like, I usually only negotiate settlement agreements and things like that aren't quite as spicy.
Well, that's great. And then I'd like to just hear from both of you. I know you're not each other's mentor or mentee, but just kind of in general, what you think the advantage of the mentoring program, or having a mentor or having a mentee, is.
I think just having someone there who made it a point to be there, because just law school is very challenging. To have an open ear with someone who's done that before and who understands where you're coming from is so beneficial. For me, at least, it's been. So yeah.
And I really enjoy like kind of connecting again with the students. It's really inspiring to hear what they want to do, and it's rewarding to be able to help them on that path of whether it's introducing them to other people or giving them advice based on my own experience or those of my colleagues. It's really nice to be able to help out in that way.
Awesome. That's all I got. You guys are done.
Great, thank you.
Woo-hoo. First, if you guys could just say your name and your firm or law school, just so we've got that for our record.
I'm Sasha Brooks. I go to Capital Law School. I'm a 1L.
I'm Bill Nolan. I'm with Barnes & Thornburg.
Great. So I know you guys, we talked about this a little bit before, but just so we have it again on our record, how long have you guys been paired, and how many times have you met? Like, what was that interaction like?
We've been paired since November, and we've met once in person at Starbucks. And we just kind of had an informal setting of talking about some of my future plans and what I want to get out of law school and where I see myself after law school, and different opportunities that I could take during law school.
Yeah, so we're meeting tomorrow actually, and one of the things we talked about was finding a job, and hopefully I can try to be helpful with that. So we're going to work on the resume. I'm going to bother her about LinkedIn, heads up, so because I think that's important and hopefully can help navigate. It's obviously tough for any first-year law student to get a summer law firm job. Let's see if hopefully we can figure something out together.
That's great. So you may be able to answer this or maybe not, since you haven't had a ton of time together, but one of the things I'm always curious about is what the best piece of advice or the most important thing is you've learned from the other person. So if you feel like you can answer that so far, I'd love to hear that.
I think the best piece of advice I've gotten so far is to not just worry about my GPA and to be more of an all-around person coming into law and not just trying to stick to just being in the books, because last semester I really just only concentrated on my grades and my GPA and I really didn't get involved as much. And I think that that's really important coming out since the job field is changing, and being in the top 1% or 10% of your class isn't going to guarantee you a position.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd call it advice, but I know Sasha's, you got a big family, 7 siblings?
14.
14. And she was the first in her family to, 7 wasn't even close. First in her family to go to law school, and so I just think that's special, and shows a certain drive, which we've talked about trying to bring that out on the resume, because I think that's a really important quality.
So Sasha, do you feel, or I guess how do you feel like the mentoring relationship is going to help benefit you since you are a first generation law student?
I think first it will just help me by actually talking to somebody that's in the law field, because I am extremely shy, and in different settings and networking, I have a really hard time with bringing that out. And overall, it just allows me to really see some of the real life things and career things that lawyers do, with me not really having an insight into what a lot of attorneys do on a day-to-day basis, and the different paths that they took to get there. So with the mentorship, I feel like I can learn a lot from my mentor about the journey of becoming an attorney overall.
And what would you say for you, what's the biggest reason that you wanted to do this, or kind of the biggest benefit for you of being a mentor?
Yeah, I mean, I've been practicing almost 30 years, not quite, and fortunate to be fairly established. So I do feel like it's a responsibility of people who are to try and help newer and younger lawyers do that, and it's very satisfying when you can help out a little bit. So I just enjoy that.
So as far as the event today, how did you feel about the negotiation exercise, and do you think that's going to help you going back to school, looking for jobs, that kind of thing?
I think at first I felt really scared to do the negotiations, because I've done something in law school kind of similar, but I really wasn't sure about how to really approach it. And I think, and with helping me with my job search, it will just make me able to be more out there and put out certain information about myself, and really just talk about my purpose for working at that law firm and what I can bring to the table.
Well, that's great. That's all I've got, unless there's anything else that you're just burning to get off your chest about mentoring. I figured that was a no. Yeah, you guys are all good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Diandra Gordon. I go to Capital University.
Awesome. So first things first, tell me how you felt about the negotiation exercise. Did you learn a lot? Are you going to use it back at law school and your new job?
I thought that the negotiation exercise was awesome. It was very interesting. So I had to think on my feet. As a 1L, this is only my second semester. I haven't really had the opportunity to go into live action as a lawyer. It's a lot of studying and memorizing and writing. So it was really cool to actually take some of those skills that we learned and apply them. I also had to use some of my other knowledge and information on random things that an artist may need when they go perform. So we had fun. My artist became a vegan. We added some extra things. So, but it was fun. We got to add some marketing benefits. So it was really cool to think outside of the box and outside of what was on the paper to really advocate for my client as an artist. Even though it seemed that her career was gone, it seemed like maybe we were going to, revive it a little bit. So it was really good to actually go into a room and use the skills and things that we have seen or heard or learned and really apply them and use them. I was able to negotiate with someone who's actually a 3L, so it was pretty good. She had some other knowledge that I didn't have, but it was great. It was a wonderful experience. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you're doing pretty good then.
Thank you.
So as a first generation law school student, what do you hope to get out of the mentoring program? I know you haven't had a ton of time to connect with your mentor, but what do you hope to get out of the relationship over the next year or so?
I am very interested in navigating the career aspect of law and lawyering. So when it comes to networking, or what are some things that I should be doing right now, even though, your school may suggest some things, as someone who has actually been through law school, someone who is actually in their career and maybe even looking for some other jobs or positions at other law firms or other organizations, what can I do now as a student? What is necessary for me to be a successful lawyer when I get through with the process? So I'm really interested in building that relationship, building my knowledge base when it comes to things outside of the classroom, as well as things in the classroom. I think I can really gain some knowledge and information from someone who has already gone through the experience.
That's great. I'm going to put you on the spot. I didn't ask you this question before.
Okay.
But one of the things I'm always interested to hear about is that, we hope the mentoring relationship, obviously they're there to give you a lot of advice, but we also hope that it is a little bit of a two-way street. So thinking about either your mentor specifically or just somebody who's farther along in their career as a lawyer, what would be your advice or something you think they should know from somebody who's in your shoes who's a first-year law student?
That's a great question. So I can say that I'm a little unique as a first-year law student because I'm also a PhD student. This is my last year. So I have very limited time, so I'm very interested in knowing how to be more efficient with my lawyering practice and as a student. So I would say to understand how to actually understand the material. So people have different techniques for studying. You do have to, know what works for you. And sometimes that comes by trial and error. So it would be kind of cool to understand what someone did in their own process when it comes to learning and understanding the material and how that can help. So even if it is, what question can I ask a law professor? Because you don't want to seem stupid, you don't want to seem like you don't know anything. It can be intimidating to go up to a law professor, but understanding what a law professor is there to do and what a law professor is open to when it comes to actually helping a student grow. Even learning what is really important when it comes to the summer after your first year as a law student. What should you be doing? What can you do even if you don't get necessarily a paid internship? What are some other opportunities that can build your skills or resume that would look beneficial for the future? What can I do this summer that can help me get a job next summer? Just things like that, like really specific information as to how to navigate this process to be a successful law student and in the future successful or have a successful law career.
That's awesome. What are you getting your PhD in?
Human development and family science.
Get out.
Yeah, so nothing to do
You
with
are
law.
busy. Oh my goodness.
A little bit.
That is all the questions I have.
Okay, thank you.
Unless there's
Yay.
anything else you'd love to share.
Thank you. This was a great experience. I'm glad I had the opportunity. There are a lot of mentor programs out there, so I'm really glad that this is one that is doing something a little different. So not only are we just matching people, but you're doing programs. You are making sure that we are talking to our mentors and that we're having a meaningful experience. So thank you.